What would you do if the person who raised you invited you into their new life, only to serve a dish that could steal your child's last breath? I stood in the driveway, gripping my son Ethan's hand, his small fingers trembling in mine. The house loomed before us, a two-story colonial with fresh paint and a manicured Lamy mother's new home with her new family. It had been 3 years since she'd left us to start over with Richard and his 2 teenage daughters. Her emails had trickled in over the months, polite but distant, until last week's invitation. Come for dinner. Meet the family. Let's reconnect. I wanted to say no, to shield Ethan from the woman who'd walked away, but he was 8 now, old enough to ask why Grandma never called. So here we were, standing at the edge of her new life, my heart a tangle of hope and dread. Ethan's peanut allergy was no secret. I'd told Mom about it when he was diagnosed at 3 after a terrifying trip to the ER when a cookie nearly closed his throat. She nodded, promised to be careful, but her visits were rare even then. I reminded her again in my reply to the invitation, typing out in bold, "Ethan is severely allergic to peanuts. Please ensure no peanuts or peanut products are in the food." She'd responded with a cheerful, "Of course, don't worry." Yet, as we stepped onto the porch, my stomach churned. Something fell off, like a note played just out of tune. The door swung open, and there was Mom, her smile wide but unfamiliar, like it belonged to someone else. "Laura, Ethan, you made it," she chirped, pulling us into a hug that felt rehearsed. Richard stood behind her, a tall man with a firm handshake and a politician's grin. His daughters, Mia and Chloe, lounged on the couch, scrolling on their phones, barely glancing up. The house smelled of roasted vegetables and something sweet, maybe dessert. Ethan clung to my side, his blue eyes wide as he took in the strangers who were now his family. "Sit, sit." Mom ushered us to the dining table, set with china I didn't recognize. "I've been cooking all day. You're going to love this." Her enthusiasm felt forced, like she was trying to prove something. I scanned the table. A salad with glistening dressing, a casserole topped with golden crumbs, and a platter of grilled chicken. My eyes lingered on the casserole. "Mom," I said, keeping my voice steady, "you checked all this for peanuts, right?" She froze for a split second, then laughed. "Of course, Laura. I wouldn't forget something like that." Richard nodded, adding, "She's been so careful." "Right, Ellen?" Mom smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I squeezed Ethan's hand under the table, his medical alert bracelet cool against my fingers. As we ate, the conversation stumbled. Mom talked about her new garden, Richard's promotion, the girls' school projects. I nodded, forcing smiles, but my focus was on Ethan, who picked at his salad, avoiding the casserole. "Not hungry, buddy," I whispered. He shook his head, his face pale. I pushed my own plate away, my appetite gone. Then came dessert. Mom disappeared into the kitchen and returned with a tray of brownies, their surface glossy and studded with nuts. My heart stopped. "Mom, are those peanuts?" I asked, my voice sharp enough to cut through the chatter. The room went quiet. Mia and Chloe exchanged glances. Richard cleared his throat. "Oh, no, no," Mom said quickly, setting the tray down. "They're almonds. Perfectly safe." "Almonds?" I repeated, my pulse racing. "You're sure?" "Absolutely," she said, but her hands trembled as she cut a brownie for Ethan. I grabbed her wrist, stopping her. "Mom, I need to see the recipe. Now." Her face flushed. "Laura, you're being paranoid." "They're fine." "Paranoid." My voice rose, and Ethan shrank in his seat. "You know what peanuts do to him." "You know." Richard stood, his chair scraping the floor. "Let's all calm down. Ellen, just show her the recipe." Mom hesitated, then stormed to the kitchen, returning with a crumpled piece of paper. I scanned it, my blood turning to ice. "Peanut butter, half a cup." I shoved the paper at her. "Peanut butter?" Are you serious? My voice cracked, rage and fear colliding. You said you checked. It was a mistake. Mom cried, her eyes darting to Richard, then back to me. I swapped it for almond butter, I swear. A mistake. I stood, pulling Ethan to my side. You could have killed him. That's when Chloe, the younger daughter, spoke up, her voice barely a whisper. She didn't swap it. The room froze. All eyes turned to Chloe, her face pale, her phone forgotten in her lap. What did you say? I demanded. Chloe glanced at her sister, then at Mom, her voice shaking. I heard her talking to Dad. She said she didn't believe Ethan's allergy was that bad. She thought Laura was exaggerating to control her. My knees buckled. I gripped the table, my vision blurring. Is that true? I asked Mom, my voice low, dangerous. She opened her mouth, then closed it, tears spilling down her cheeks. I didn't mean I just thought. You thought I was lying? I shouted. You thought I'd make up something that could kill my son? Richard stepped forward, hands raised. Laura, let's talk this out. No one meant any harm. No one meant any harm. I scooped Ethan into my arms, his small body shaking. You invited us here, knowing his allergy, and served him peanut butter to prove a point. Mom sobbed, reaching for me. Laura, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was that serious. I just wanted us to be a family again. A family. I laughed, bitter and broken. You stopped being my family when you walked out. And now this. I turned to leave, Ethan clinging to me, but Chloe's voice stopped me again. Wait, she said, standing now, her eyes bright with tears. I'm sorry. I should have said something sooner. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know how to stop her. Her words hit like a punch. This girl, barely 16, had seen what my own mother couldn't or wouldn't. I looked at her, at the guilt etched on her face, and something softened in me. Thank you, Chloe, I said quietly. You did the right thing. As I carried Ethan to the car, his breath steady but his eyes still wide with fear, I glanced back at the house. Mom stood in the doorway, her new family behind her, their faces a mix of shame and confusion. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but all I could think of was getting Ethan home, safe. In the days that followed, I wrestled with what had happened. Mom's calls went unanswered, her texts unread. I couldn't forgive her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But Chloe's courage stayed with me. A stranger, a stepsister I barely knew, had stood up when it mattered most. She'd reminded me that family isn't just blood, it's the people who choose to protect you, even when it's hard. Ethan and I started baking together peanut-free recipes we tested ourselves. He laughed again, his smile brighter each day. And when Chloe texted, asking if she could visit, I said yes. Maybe we could build something new, not out of obligation, but out of trust. As for Mom, her new family could keep her. I protect mine no matter what.